Hi, it's August 8th, 2025, and I'm Keith. Thank you for coming. I have a few other videos, but I'm still learning how this whole thing works. But if you're new here, I've learned that today anyway, I can't fight with my dogs. Every single time I get going, they've decided to interrupt. They bark or they play or they do something. So you're just going to have to deal with it. My story today is I spent the last 6 weeks doing in a pulmonary rehabilitation program where they were teaching me how to manage my COPD. And I learned a lot. And I experienced huge improvement. I can do so much more now than I could only a month ago. I mean, I can walk, not a great distance, but I can walk, I can walk half a mile now. I couldn't do that a month ago. I can do quite a lot now that I couldn't do a month and a half ago, or a month ago. The reason why we stopped is because alongside the COPD, another doctor discovered that I have a growth in my large intestine after 2 colonoscopies. Apparently they can't get it out. So I'm going under the knife in a few days, and they're going to remove about 1/3 of my large intestine. And hopefully everything is going to be okay after that. But I think things are going to be fine, because my theory is I want to continue the progress I've made with the pulmonary rehabilitation. I'm just itching for it. But I'm going to be off my feet for, I'm not going to be able to do much. They're not going to let me do a whole lot until 5 or 6 weeks after the surgery. But in the meantime, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start publishing these videos again. And I'm going to take you all on my journey with me. Because, I'm basically starting from scratch. And learning about this disease and doing research, I discovered quite a lot about myself, about society, and about the way COPD and similar diseases are treated in society. And I learned the most important thing I think I've learned is that while the medical field is very supportive of people like myself, and my family's been fantastic. My family's just, it's been harder on them than it has on me in some ways. But I went through a period of extreme depression. After being a working man my whole life, I got to where I can't mow the lawn yet. Probably never, but right now, can't do it yet. Can't walk down the street. I can barely do dishes, things like that. But then after the rehabilitation, I've learned I can do so much more. And in fact, it may be possible to reverse the effects of this disease. It may be, because I have seen people on YouTube where they've claimed that they've turned it around. I hope they have. So my goal is I want to take you all on my journey with me, because I know what you're going through. You don't know how to begin life again. You don't know what kind of exercises you can do. You don't know what you should eat. Healthcare people are hard to get a hold of. They don't have very much time. It's just difficult. And you don't know who you can believe on the internet. I'm not saying you should believe me above all else. That's not what's going on here. I'm just going to go on my journey and I'm going to invite you along. And I'm going to start with three things. First of all, at the end of my last colonoscopy, I changed my diet. I started doing a pretty strong keto influenced diet, trying to limit myself to under 30 carbs a day. Doing pretty well with it. I've lost about 15 pounds in the last 2 months, which is not fast enough that I would like to see faster progress, but then I'm not counting my calories. I should eat whatever I want within the dietary guidelines I've set. And then the other thing is exercise. I've learned enough from the pulmonary rehabilitation that they've given a target of, they want me to keep my heart rate above a certain place for 150 minutes per week, spread out over 7 days. And I can do that by walking, which now I can walk. But I began searching YouTube for videos on other exercises because I want to continue this progress. It's just incredibly good. And I found there's very little available for people like me. So I approached the nurses at the rehabilitation, and they were surprised that there was so little about it online, and they gave me some tips on how to search for good exercises, and their tips were good. I found some finally, but there's not. I had to look over a bunch of different. I had to look over a bunch of different videos to even come up with a semi-routine, which I know is going to get awful boring after 1 or 2 days. But the idea is to get going and make it a daily routine, and then I can switch it up. So this, along with diet, I want people to see my progress, if any. Which I say if. I'm already making so much progress, it's ridiculous. So I anticipate making a gigantic. I may return to almost normal at one point, and which goes along to the third part of this is, so I have diet and exercise, and then there's a spiritual component, finding the willpower to make myself into the man I want to be. And I'm realizing that all these things come about for a reason. I mean, I'm in my 60s. I've had a long career in construction. My wife and I have been very happily married for so long now. And our children are wonderful. They grew up and they became wonderful, wonderful people. I have a granddaughter. She's cute. She's so sweet. She's still very, very young. And I know that I made that life because that was what I wanted. But our Father in heaven knew it was time for me to switch. I have a different calling now. Not to abandon my old calling, but to assume some new responsibilities. And the first responsibility is my health. Got to take care of myself. I totally ignored myself for 45 years. Just didn't care. And I just dealt with it. Go to work, and I was proud of myself for saying, well, I guess about got to be dead before I don't show up to work. And there was a few times when that was about the case. But I always showed up to work. We had a good life. And now I'm doing a new stage. And I'm going to invite people to see that part as well. And it's up to me. I have an analogy I use. I mean, God is the owner. Jesus is the architect. And I'm the superintendent, and this is the job site. And this job site has been wrecked. It needs a it needs a gigantic remodeling job. So that's what's going on. It had to be some serious destruction went on, and and I think that part's over. I think that part is over. But now we're sweeping out the debris and carrying off truckloads of blocks and pieces of wood, just stuff. And we're starting to lay out a new perimeter for a new building. The life of someone whose first role is to serve others. Because I'm a big believer in the law, which is love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is just like it, love your neighbor as yourself. So I'm here to do these things, not for me. I'm not here for me. There's a lot of people that, like me, don't know what to do. They've just found out that they're wrecked, and we got to get over it, and we can get over it together. You can see my progress. It may be slow, it may be fast, I don't know, but even sitting here, I'm standing. See, I never even would have thought of standing to make a video. Standing is good. I'm standing right now. This is fantastic progress. And people, you have a lot of worth left in you, no matter how terrible you might feel at the moment. People get to be our age, and you don't get to be our age and remain stupid. You learn how to get along in the world. You learn how people are. You learn your own limitations. And you learn that, hopefully you learn, that the whole purpose of life is to serve God. That is the purpose. We're here to serve. You got to do good. If you're not doing good, if you're doing wrong, you might as well go away. There's no point in that. But everybody can turn around. Everybody can repent, as they say. You turn around, go a new way, get on the right side of things. No matter how wrecked your body is, no matter how terrible it is. So I'm not going to make too many videos between now and probably a week or two after my surgery. I might make some. So I'm going to say about 3 weeks. But when I start up again, it's going to be a disciplined thing. It's going to be a daily practice. I'm going to do a workout. I want to talk about diet, and I'm going to talk about the motivation to get up and do things right. Because I don't want to be a burden to anyone. I want to be a blessing. And that's when I wake up, that's what's on my mind. How can I help the world? Here I am, I can hardly move, I can't do near what I could, but I want to help. And this is what I can do. And this is what I can do. So I'm asking for your prayers for my surgery coming up. And I know I'm getting through it. I already know it'll be fine. And prayers to succeed. Obviously, my on-camera presence needs some work, but I am who I am, and so I could use a little bit of help. I want y'all to have a great day, and if you do have COPD and you don't know what to do, Turn it over to God. Turn it over. Let him deal with it. It's not your problem. It's not your problem. You're here to serve. You're not here to deal with it. That's his problem. He made it. He made it. He made you. He made me. He made us all in his image. It's his problem. We just need to pick it. We just need to figure out how we fit in. And the COPD is part of it. Pick it up. Have a great day, people.